Yes, thank you so much, you guys. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of why we are here. These beautiful people, and I know you're looking at me like, why is this broad hosting the show? Like I said, diversity card. And I want to say I am a very dear friends with Kris and Karlos. Karlos and I actually started comedy about the same time. And people mistake us for brother and sister all the time. It's so weird. But they're great friends of mine, and I'm really excited to be here doing their show. I'm really just excited to be back in Seattle. I've been on the road because I'm crushing the comedy game, you guys. Yes. Back from North Idaho is where I just got back from. Career's on fire. It really is. And I wish I could say it's great to be back in Seattle, but listen, like, in Seattle, I'm a soft 6, okay? North Idaho, you guys, hard 9. Hard 9. Holy shit. And I know that because a guy yelled it to me on stage. Real sweetheart, right? Oh my god. He said I wasn't quite a 10. Because, like, yes, I do have all of my own teeth, but I also have been fingered by a family member, so let's get weird. That's why I'm the diversity card. I'm the white trash of the group here. I guess I should have prefaced that story by telling you I'm from a town called Aberdeen, Washington. Yes! Home of Kurt Cobain and meth. That's where the factory is, you guys. No, we're actually so proud of Kurt Cobain and Nirvana in that town that they changed the sign. It says, "Welcome to Aberdeen, come as you are." And I'm like, hey guys, you spelled cum wrong. That's not how you spell it. Oh man, it's a quaint little place, it really is. On the road, I was in Oregon as well. A lot of meth heads in that state, didn't realize that. But I do appreciate the men in Oregon. They have a level of confidence that men here in Seattle do not. A lot of socially inept weirdos here. It's really hard to date in Seattle. I had a real confident guy come up to me when I was in Portland. He came right up to me after the show and he just looks at me and he says, "You look like you need an orgasm."
Oh, I mean, who doesn't?
I know, right? And I was like, "You gonna give it to me, adult braces, huh?" And he did, you guys. He did. I was like, "Who is your orthodontist?"
Bring it.
Jesus, right? Oh my god. So I'm single. It is hard dating. So I've gotten on the apps. Been doing a little Tindering. And recently I had a run-in with a gentleman who is 6'8". Yeah, I'm a tall broad myself, but I was a little bit worried about what was going on in his downstairs. Big concern there. So I haven't had any children or anything. I like to keep that area, you know what I mean. So we go out on this date, things are going well, we get back to his place, and it's like too late to say no or whatever. Cool. I forgot I was back in Seattle. No, we consensually get back to his place, and things are getting hot and heavy, right? Clothes are flying, and he leans over to the nightstand to like grab a condom or a hefty bag or whatever he was going to use. Ooh. And I took that moment to jump out the window because a sprained ankle was better than gambling on whether or not I could re-break my hymen. So, yeah, that's crazy. No, recently I also matched with a guy that told me right out the gate that he had HSV1, and if that was a deal breaker, then I should just keep swiping. HSV1, if you don't know, it stands for herpes simplex virus 1. Which is a generally stigmatized thing, and I felt bad, you know, I didn't want to be one of those people stigmatizing that, because that is hard to go through that in life. But he he wanted to meet up for a drink. And I myself am sober, a recovering alcoholic, 500 days sober.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. It's really boring. I don't recommend it. Drink up. So I told him, I said, let's still meet up. You know, that's rough. Let's still meet up, but we will have to do something else, not a drink, because I am a recovering alcoholic. And then he just quit talking to me. Yeah, because I told him, I was like, alcoholism, that's a stigma that needs to be debunked. Yeah, and then he just radio silence. Which is a real bummer because I think herpes and alcoholism, like, we've got a lot in common, you know? You get both of those diseases from your mom or whatever. I kind of knew you guys weren't going to love that one. I realized, I was like, oh, I know why he quit talking to me, because he realized he can't get me drunk enough to forget he's got herpes and have sex with him, so. No. But traveling for comedy has been a lot of fun. I love airports. I love trying to make TSA employees laugh. It's like kind of my life's mission. It never works though, because they take that shit seriously. This last time I was coming back from LAX and I was being ushered through the security, I was going through that little machine, right? And he told me to raise my arms, so I did. Got my arms raised, and I just look back at him and I go, hey, can this thing see my Nuva ring? Just want to make sure that little bastard's still in there, you know? And I went to go high-five him. He was not having it. These are jokes to you guys. Like, I do not use birth control. Not even a little bit. I was doing a college show when I was down there in LA, and I missed college. I graduated 10 years ago, and I missed college for, you know, being able to dress for Cabo San Lucas no matter how cold it is outside, as long as it says juicy across your ass, right? What else do I miss about college? Oh, guzzling HPV. By the ball full. All right, cool. They didn't like that joke at the college show either. But I think it's because they just don't know what HPV is anymore. Their parents loved them enough to vaccinate them, you know? But I think at 32 years old, because I'm 32, I think at 32, I'm too old to be vaccinated, you know, because, like, don't want my pussy to get autism or whatever. Sure, it doesn't understand social cues, you know? All right, you guys, you've been a lot of fun. Thank you so much. And I am so excited to be a part of this show. You guys are a part of history. So please, please, please do me a big favor. Get the excitement going. Put your hands together for Kris and Karlos. Let's make it
As always, I always fuck shit up. Like, I hit the screen. Hi, guys! Give it up for Chelsea. That's my bitch. That's my bitch. Chelsea is my bitch. Like, Chelsea and I, like she said, we started at the same time. Like, we've done this shit, and we gone all the way to Hollywood, bitch. Red carpet. How y'all doing tonight? Thank you guys so much for coming. I see a lot of familiar faces. Some unfamiliar faces.
A lot of you hoes I don't know, but
yeah,
this is
who's
also
you?
my 30th.
Hey, who daddy is you right here with the glasses? Yes, you.
It's me.
Hey, you got a 401k?
John, move your hand to the side, please.
Hey, I like them black and bald. Like, so thank you guys so much for coming in with Kris, kicking it with Kris and Karlos. This is our first live show. First of all, I want to thank Marnie Davis. She's this bitch right here with a nigga tree shirt on. Yes! I love a white bitch with a nigga tree shirt on. So you guys can always get your merch outside the lobby. Marnie understands the struggle. She's like our day-to-day hangout bitch. She understands our opinions and she respects them, and we listen to yours too, and I think we help each other out. So I want to thank you guys for that. Sorry, we were trying to have tablets each for this, but we're not that bougie and we're kind of broke, so.
Also,
We sharing an iPhone.
No. I just turned 30.
Yes! So let's say happy birthday to Christopher. He just turned 30. He looks good.
I turned bald and everything.
Yeah.
So I am full-blown 30, so
Yes.
please say to me
So,
right now.
like I said, thank you guys all for coming to. Oh, do you want to say?
Yes, we're saying to me right now.
Okay.
Get it? One.
No. We don't sing y'all's white folks happy
No,
birthday.
happy
Thank you, Alicia.
That's a black
You wanna go
person.
there,
Happy
ready? 1,
birthday
2, 3.
to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, people.
Happy birthday. Have room right now. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Black people help us.
Happy birthday to you.
On beat.
Happy birthday. My husband's 30 years old. We've been together for a long time. You are my ride to die. You are everything to me. So I want to thank you for coming on this journey. If y'all have known me, y'all know how particular and peculiar I am. I'm a micromanager. I expect perfection, and that's what my people deserve. And I hope we're giving y'all
Which is
perfection
why our
tonight.
house couch is here.
I brought my couch from my living room. This is my second couch. Because I got a bigger one, but this one didn't fit in the house. Or it wouldn't fit in the house, it didn't fit in the car. But if my big one fit in the car, I would have had it. But this is the small one, so I put the small. Because you know what? Well, speaking of that, let's think the Pocket Theater. The Pocket Theater, without them, we wouldn't have this. So. This is shit. Yes. Because we pay our bills. I ain't shit. Yes. Yes. So, thank them for providing it for us. Thank us for selling out for you guys. You guys sold out the show. You guys sold out the show. So, let's move on to the first segment, which is current events. Current events. If you missed it, we'll cover it. Over to you, Bob.
Thank you, Steve.
So,
That bitch best in the balls.
on current events.
Took her the funding from the educational, the special ed kids.
Y'all know who Betsy DeVos is, right?
Special Olympics.
You can tell she lying. The bitch is lying.
This guy do hand movements and explain some shit. She's
So-
possibly lying.
Yeah, so when we came up with this show, or when we came up with this segment, I was like, what does the Special Olympics have anything to do with Betsy DeVos? I thought she was over education. And Kris was like, yeah, special education. I was like,
Because
problematic. We're not gonna go.
It's problematic that we've all seen these special ed kids.
Okay,
And
yes, but
they are given the best of chances at.
But she needs to take money away from her lines and her face, whoever's giving her injunctions, because that's what she needs to take money
Which
away
is why
from.
she took it from the special ed kids.
So if y'all
because she
don't
needed
know-
more.
She's taking money away from the special Asian kids, special education kids, which I didn't know actually, Special Olympics is involved in special education. And I was a child of special education. I was in special education. No, don't look at that. That is not an accolade. That is on my resume. Especially at 4th grade to 8th. This is not there. So, but I'm a child of this. So that's actually, I didn't know what this actually meant, but that's taken away from special education. So when I was in 4th grade through 8th grade, which I was actually in ESE, we all know what ESE classes are, right?
Them kids is came into lunch table.
Yes, and I will fight you. It was them kids that will fight you. She's taking the money away from that. So it's not so much the Special Olympics, it's special education that she's taking away from, which I have a problem with. What do you think?
It's tough on them. So next slide.
Nigga. Next slide. So,
This is what I want to talk about. Motel 6. If your name is Luis Hernandez,
Karlos Dillard.
Ramirez Gomez, anything that sounds Hispanic, please Please do not say the Motel 6.
No.
People has to be deported. Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
With a quickness. So Motel 6 is actually deporting people with Hispanic-like names. And they've been sued. And the people who sued them in the last month actually got a $12 million settlement from them.
Yeah.
Because like, illegal or not,
money.
when I get a hotel, we're still Americans.
But
Or
my
we
thing-
should assume we're Americans. And you cannot share my information,
But my
bitch.
thing is,
Because my name is
how do you
Mario
rent a
Luis.
hotel out with no ID? There's some bitches can't even get into the club
I
with no
mean-
ID. So, how do you rent a hotel room without knowing who the fuck you are?
I mean, this is very true. So if they're renting hotels to people without,
It's a setup.
that's a setup.
It's a
So
setup.
they were trying to get some money, and then they got caught up, and then the government
And
was
now I
trying to
lost
help
12
them.
million.
Look at that, boom bow.
That's a lie.
Look at that. Let's move on to the next slide. Seattle.
Yo, so listen.
It's saying no to safe in Jackson sites.
No.
It's about time.
We are going back to 1992,
No.
Nancy Reagan. Just
No.
say no law because
Yeah.
a
No.
lot of the people of color in this room, their parents are affected by this law because their
You mean
fathers
the
and fathers
1.3%?
got locked up.
Okay, thank y'all.
Around. their parents were locked up for doing a little bit of heroin, a little bit of cocaine.
So here's
Well,
our problem with this. So we recently went
Crack.
to our friends going away from Seattle party where we were going to Georgetown, which is, we all know who live in Seattle. That is a impoverished part of the city that you see a lot
I
of.
wouldn't say impoverished. I would say that
Bitch,
it's
there was
drugs.
a whole encampment next to our hotel. That's impoverished.
He had a car and electricity.
They did have a car. They
So,
actually.
impoverished and just smart.
But I will say,
They're living in
they were living in tents and we were having our best of lives. And I was just like, how can us as Seattleites live like this? And he was like, well, you know, our Uber driver was like, you know, it's because there's a housing problem. And
Speaking of
let me
which, I
finish.
actually called Uber and said that he was problematic for me.
Oh, you
And
did?
they refunded me my money.
You did?
Yes,
You know what?
I did. Boom bow.
No,
Bow.
the gag
Attention to
is
Jimmy
no.
bag.
The gag is our building pays for our Uber, so you just got $25 added to your account.
Yeah.
Like,
And I had a problematic drive. I felt uncomfortable. He said some words like
you even pay for that ride, right?
Boom
I
bow.
paid like $9.
Okay. So, anyways, he was saying like how he was raised in Seattle and how it was normal to him just to live in this and how Seattle was being what did he say, gentrified by us. And I was like,
Us being the people
the
of
black
color.
folks. And I was like, yes, you are, because bitch,
High
guess what,
five to
bitch?
us.
High fives to niggas with master's degrees over here.
Yes.
Working on it.
People of color,
High fives for
John,
husbands right here holding
Manny,
it down. Do I say
Marty,
that?
you're Jewish.
I know what you do, black man, but hold it down. The rest of y'all white
Right here,
folks,
look for a shirt.
keep supporting black
One
people.
color.
Come on.
Wait, you got him.
John,
No, John behind John.
Oh,
Bald guy with beard. Big Daddy.
oh, we already got him. So no, what we were saying was the Uber driver was just like, you know, I've experienced this hard time as a Seattleite and people of color coming in and they're gentrifying. And I was taken aback because I have never heard that sentence in my life.
I am black.
I was like,
It's a
first of
person
all,
of color.
but then it entered a very interesting conversation because he was like, you know, back in the 90s, my family was actually considered middle class here. But now my family is considered lower class because my father was a worker at the docks and he only made so much. And then people of color came in with tech jobs and I was like, oh, we educated ourselves?
It's a personal choice. It's the
okay,
age you live, life that you live.
Kinda,
Yes.
but his whole thing was just like, how black people are gentrifying the nation and how that actually is why we have so much tension in our nation right now.
So it's our fault we fucking.
It's our fault.
having
No,
babies
it's our fault.
and
It's
moving
our
on.
fault that we learned as 90 babies when we saw our mothers and fathers get stripped away from us in the fucking drug war, and we educated ourselves. We didn't go to drugs.
Because
we didn't go
I
to.
knew
We chose
that
the latter.
That lifestyle wasn't
It
for
wasn't
me.
for us.
Yeah,
So
how
but because of that,
can
now
shit
we're
go?
looking at but here's my thing was he was like, well, the drug epidemic now in Seattle is the same thing that it was in the 80s, and I was like, no, it's
pause
not.
because my father, Willie Frank Howard,
Mhm.
he is actually either locked up or released.
I think he escaped in
But
2008.
he escaped it. So I don't because of the war on on drugs, I don't know this nigga. So, Willie Frank Howard, wherever you are, escaped or in prison still. He had trafficking of heroin charges. He had all these.
But here's the thing is that like.
And then he should have just been allowed to get a little bit of narcoticone or whatever it's
So
called.
what are we saying to say no to? Back in our day, to go back to the slide.
Okay. So
And back in our day, when
You
we had a
get
drug,
locked up if you
you
do
had a drug
heroin.
problem in the 90s, they didn't say there was an
No.
epidemic. They rounded them niggas up.
And
they
said
made
you're
them
under
make
arrest.
Nikes
Put your
for
hands
15
behind-
cents.
put your
And
hands
they made
behind
them
your
make
back.
Idaho potatoes for 10 cents. And then there was an epidemic, but now it's affecting the people who are not melanated. And then now it's an epidemic. No, it's not an epidemic. I don't have a problem. So the reason that we're speaking about this topic and the slide is because we told that Uber driver, he's like, what are your conclusions to this
Lock
epidemic?
him
I'm like, lock them up!
Yeah.
That's what they did to us!
They're doing illegal activities. Lock them up.
Lock them up, lock them up. It's illegal right now.
Yeah.
My father spent 25 years in his life for 4 grams of weed. Mind you, I can go buy 4 grams of
All
weed
his
down the
seed.
street right now.
Got it in my bag.
But I lost. So actually at this point right now, I'm gonna let y'all know because there's 3/4 white folks in this audience. I thank y'all for coming. But we are not a politically correct podcast. This is a podcast. It's live, but this is a podcast. We're not politically correct. I might hurt your feeling, and that's okay. And you have all the right to walk out.
We're here to
But I
bring
won't
social
walk-
awareness. We're
Yes.
here to bring conversations. If you don't have a conversation with us, please have it.
After my show, because I think it
Yes,
is.
but not right now. So, are we done with the crackheads being
Let's move on
crackheads?
to our next segment, to caucasity, since we're talking about white
If you know
people.
the song, please sing along.
If you know the song, please sing It's the caucasity, watching their privileges go pow, 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 pow. That shit goes hard. That shit, and you never listen to this in your car. That shit goes hard. Turn that shit up. Go ahead, Alicia. What do you say? What do you say, Alicia? What do you say? It goes hard in the paint. So you guys do have, this is a live show, so if you want to scream out something, we really encourage it. Scream it out. If it's Caucasian, I will probably ask you to go
I will
home.
call it out.
But let's go. The first story of the Caucasian, or the caucasity.
Police. A man detoxing from alcohol cuts off his genitals.
Ooh,
Kennewick, Washington, wherever that is.
where is that?
I don't know.
Tri-City,
Tri-Cities.
where's that?
Where's that? The Tri-Cities.
White. Go ahead with the, no, Christopher, you've never been there. Go ahead.
Moving on. Police say a Washington State man was taken to the hospital after cutting off his own testicles with a pocket knife. That is dedication.
Yes.
The Kennewick Police Department tells CBS affiliate KEPR that
Is that local?
Kepper, I don't know.
I only watch King 5.
Yeah, and Kong.
Yeah, those are.
And Como.
Mhm.
Como got the good
Go ahead.
stories. The officers were called out to respond to a man cutting up an animal with a knife last Friday.
Wow.
When they arrived, they found the man covered in blood on his own hands and pants. Officers tell KEPR that the man was detoxing from
How
alcohol.
do they know he was detoxing? How do they know he just wasn't intoxicated? Like, how do you detox to the police? Like, hey, officer, I'm detoxing. Yeah, like, when did that work? Let me know when that worked for a nigga.
I mean, I think after you start drinking alcohol, you started detoxing.
You automatically are
Yeah.
detoxing, right? Because your livers are
Yeah,
working.
and you
So we detoxing right now.
Right, I'm detoxing alcohol right now. Officers told Pepper. Did we have Jaeger?
Yeah, look, detox.
Detoxing. Kepper, that the man was detoxing from alcohol and was confused about what he was doing. He reportedly cut off his testicles, wrapped them in a newspaper, and left them in the front yard.
Ooh, Chile.
I want to see
Bust down, John Wayne. Y'all know who John Wayne is?
Lorena Bobbitt.
Lorena Bobbitt husband. This is what you do when you know you cheat on your hot wife. And you just preempt it.
You cut your dick off?
This is Christopher when he knows he cheated on me. Like,
I just cut my dick off.
Sure enough it
I
is.
just cut it off.
Sure
Instead
did.
of having a conversation, I'm just cutting it all off.
Sure did.
Okay.
Put that bitch on ice. Can we have the next story? I'm tired of this.
Yeah, he was taking a he was taking a pill hospital and yeah, being treated. So.
All right, can you pull up my next story? I believe it is an Enum Claw man.
Is it Enum or Unum?
Unum? Is it Enum or Unum? Enum Claw. Okay, I got it right. Enum Claw area animal sex case investigated. King County Sheriff's detectives are investigating the owner of an Enum Claw area farm that after a Seattle man died. Damn.
Yes.
From sustained injuries.
From.
So he died fucking animal.
Yes. He got some
Shit, I need to read this.
That makes it hit to heaven or hell.
What he might have been, what do they call that? Placebo? No, that's not what it's. Purgatory. It's kind of the same thing. King County Sheriff.
Ow.
Some of y'all called that. Right. Some of y'all didn't. King County Sheriff's detectives are investigating the owners of an Enumclaw area farm after a Seattle man died from injuries sustained while having sex with a horse boarded on the property. Investigators first learned from the farm after the man had died at Enumclaw Community Hospital on July 2nd. The county medical examiner office ruled that the death was an accidental death or the result of having sex with a horse.
So who goes to jail?
Nobody, bitch.
Somebody gotta go to jail.
Peter was definitely pending for that horse. He got some ass. That's it. A surveillance camera picked up the license plate.
Question, how do you crave horse dick?
Well, we don't know if he was crazy in horse dick by MPEG or he was crazy in horse ass. So let's read the story and figure out what he was doing.
So he was fucking a horse?
Hey, you never know. Ooh, chill like, hey, you know, when I was in Wyoming.
Please.
Quick anecdote. Just a quick anecdote. When I was in Wyoming, when I was 13, we were in Wyoming, and the dare was that you put your penis in a calf's mouth because there were calves that we birthed. So we pulled them out of hold on. So we birthed the calves out of their mothers, and then we had to bottle feed them by bottle. If you've ever lived on the calf ranch, you will understand.
So you birthed them and give them dick as their first thing?
The bottle was first, but the dick was after. So me and another kid, his name was Cody, and we were dared to put our dicks in the cow's mouth. And of course, being black, I was like, you know what, guess what? I'll cook breakfast tomorrow, you go first.
I want to see it. As Monique said,
I would like to see it. So he put his dick in that calf's mouth, and it fucking shredded his dick. I didn't know the cows do like a bite and stuff. Like,
how do you bring a newborn being into the world?
I didn't know they. I didn't. We had to take it. So
great Lord tells you the seals in your
so the gag is
sucking titties.
The gag is we had to tell our camp counselor because his dick was strangled. And I said, yo, we need help.
Be on my pay grade.
So that was a quick anecdote. So don't put your dicks in any animal mouth. Let's see what this guy did.
Matter of fact, just to wrap up this story, Enumclaw, they had sex with chickens, goats, sheep. What was that? A cow, a horse.
It was so much. It
was a whole sex bestiality form.
It was just so
going
much.
around.
If y'all want to really investigate this story,
yeah, they did. You know how hard it was to find this story?
It was very hard. So if you want to find the story, don't look this up. This is something I found on Google that I felt white people would relevate with. Yes, relevate, bitch, relevate. Don't try me. Relevate. I knew what I said. I said what I said. Next slide. Next segment. What do we have? Oh, Chile. Let's go. Let's play the side.
White man built these streets. Put your hands on me.
I run this country. You guys are dead.
Just a quick note, white men did not build these streets. If this was Germany, that may be correct because Hitler did build those streets, but that is problematic.
Let him
So
talk,
we
let him
won't-
talk.
Put your hands on me. No, I ain't gonna put my. I'm gonna kill your business.
Yeah, you are.
Come on.
Oh.
So I'm really wondering, this looks like South Seattle. What do y'all from Seattle, what does this look like? Like Tacoma, Tacoma area, right?
I run this country.
Where is this? My face here.
Yeah, Beacon Hill.
Is that Beacon Hill?
That's like it's right
My people are gonna bury you. Your neighborhood. We built these streets. White men built these streets. Yeah, they did.
All right. So that was, I'm thinking, so we are not really new, we're kind of really new here. So I was thinking that was like maybe South Seattle,
I can't.
Kent, Tukwila. Where's that? Is that Beacon Hill?
Where's
Yeah.
Beacon Hill?
I mean,
South Seattle.
is that still, is Beacon Hill considered South Seattle? Yeah. Well, you know what? My paycheck is too bougie to live in anything south of Bellevue. So, yes, yeah, do the O. We got money, all right?
My thing
So,
is, you need to realize where these streets came from because before you
that was
there was
really my
somebody
question.
else.
I really wanted to ask the locals, where was this? If this was Beacon Hill, how the fuck did he book those streets?
Also, if he built those streets, why was he wearing a Jordan?
Well, if you want to be, see, here's the thing. If someone comes up to me like that, I'll be like, technically, there's a city beneath us.
Yes.
If you want to take an underground tour, you can take it for $17 in Groupon. But you did not build these streets. So that was really troublesome to us because when we move here, everyone always asks us, how is Seattle? And what do you say?
And I always enjoy the weather here.
Yes.
The weather is so shit.
Oh, I'm sorry, pocket
Sorry,
leader. Can I get a towel from the back or something? Something from the back? I
Is there
spilled it. I
anything in
spilled
there
it.
to spill?
Just
Yeah,
put your foot
there was
over it.
something barely. But they said no liquids, no litter,
Yeah, that
no
was-
nothing on their floor. They were very
Explicit.
specific.
Just
So-
supposed to cheat.
As I was saying, bitch, because we trying to get all of our coins, so let's get this wrapped up real quick. So as we were saying, in Seattle, we lived in several different areas. Oh look, come on, Chelsea. Give a round of applause for Chelsea. The white, black privilege. Wipe it up. Is this what it feels like?
This is what it feels like every day. He says every day.
Thank you, Chelsea. That was literally, that was not in her fucking contract. She did not have to do
Okay,
that.
so wait. Okay, so building these streets, white people didn't do it. Black people really didn't do it. It was really the native people of Washington State that built these streets. But you know, we just kind of came and took over. But that's okay.
That's okay. But you know what? That's enough of that. Let's go to the next segment.
I think it's my favorite. I took the pay.
These matches, I can pay that market rate.
Pay that shit.
Tony Tiger, girl, that shit, I'm feeling great. Show you got that label on that list, you got away. Boom, bye. These bitches bad, cause they live in Section 8.
Your bitch is
These
ass.
Tony matches, I can pay that market rate.
Don't be jealous.
Tony Tiger, on my shit, I'm feeling great. Show you she got a label on that list, she got away. Boom, bye.
Again. Chelsea, we need you one more time.
Chelsea, sorry, one more time.
Drink that.
Just drink this. Come on, we're behind time. Next slide.
Alright, so listen.
Wait, oh shit. Never mind, go back. Back up.
One more.
Don't play it
Don't
dumb.
play it up. Alright, so working in Section 8. I don't work in Section 8. I work in tax credit, which calls always a human Section
Come on,
8.
Sambo. Come on, Sam. Bitch, I'm doing it. Yes.
This is what it feels like.
This is-
Once again.
time.
I wish Harriet would have had that option. Okay, I was born in Detroit. Alright, this is the last one because we ain't got no more beer bottles. Go ahead. Ooh, Chile.
Section 8. It causes you stress.
Yes.
You have work-related stress.
Mhm.
You have 8 deaths, a stabbing, a killing,
I had a stabbing, almost had a killing.
2
I
fights.
go to work, and then I almost had to kill
Your
him.
manager got
On
fired.
Thursday. Oh, I was thirsty.
Jesus, what
That's what he calls me and says.
In the past year. So, I don't know. I've never seen people dead. I've never seen a dead body.
This man, I would have to tell you,
I started working at the box
in the
store.
last 6 months, this man has seen several people OD, several people
And
just
it
die.
smells
and
horrendous.
And that's not something you think as if when you are a compliance manager for Section 8. Like, when you think you're working for the people to help the people,
Them niggas be out here dying.
which is why we have
At 54.
But
And the thing is, no, wait.
Let me tell you, well, which is why we have a problem, which is why we started with the safety injection sites. They don't work,
You
babe.
should start with safety injection sites because these niggas be dead for 6 weeks.
Well, because
We know nothing about
where
it
are
because
they getting
rent-
their needles?
Yes, the safety injection sites. So if you take away
Thank
that
you.
shit, how they gonna shoot up heroin?
We'll have less
But
clean
old-
needles and we'll have more dirty playgrounds, but are more dirty playgrounds worth
But my
lives?
thing is, they die. It's 6 weeks. Nobody knows
Yeah,
about that.
round them up! Round them
You can't just round them up. Though.
That's why they did this to the niggas.
And look what happened.
And I know.
Look,
at us,
we're
look at us.
still.
We're thriving.
we're-
Look at the generation afterwards.
Yeah.
We're thriving. We saw.
We're
We
thriving.
saw what happened
We're
to our
thriving.
parents.
We're
And we're
thriving.
Are we not thriving?
But
We're
shit,
thriving.
it's hard.
You know, Greg. Holiday.
It's hard.
Holiday. I don't got the bike. Like.
I've never had the bike holiday.
If you
so-
don't know the Holiday got the bike, y'all need to go listen and go watch Black Culture. Holiday Heart. Have you ever seen Holiday Heart?
It's a black holiday
This
class.
half of the room gonna be like, this half of the room gonna be like,
But it's
and
okay.
then they're like, yes.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on to the next section. We're coming up. We got like 11 minutes, 14 minutes left of the show. They go to marriage material. So, ooh, grab your phone, Marty. Your phone. I love you. Marty actually, yes.
Alright, so marriage material. What it
Marty
means to
is
be-
like my fucking bitch. Marty's my
If you
bitch.
ever heard bitches want to party with Marnie, this is her.
Bitch from the party. If you ever heard that on our podcast, that's Marty. Marty is this bitch that will have your whole life lit. Like, and she's
Fucked
also
up
like the most
the next
supportive.
day.
So this is actually what Rose ends up marriage material. What does it mean to be in sync?
It means to anticipate your partner's needs
Yes.
and act upon them before your partner has to ask about them.
Yes.
Because that avoids in a conversation that you don't need to have because a nigga be tired.
Yes. So like,
That's what it
I think you'll be
means.
tired. Like, so like, you need to. So Marnie's husband David. Who if you guys ever heard my stand up, I always joke about. I'm like, oh, that's that my straight friend. I'm gonna fuck him, but I'm not. Because he's David. But he's so cute, though. I would. The way he takes care of Marnie, I was like, damn. Shit, Marnie, you're so lucky.
They make you in a size black.
You are so lucky, like the way their marriage is so thoughtful, and then they also have a person of color who's their child, and just like everything about their family is just white excellence, which you never hear those words out of my
Eva's a person of color. Is she?
Eva is a person. She's Japanese.
You consider Eva white?
Chinese. She's East.
She's like Caucasian.
She's a person of color. She's not white.
Asian. She didn't
She's
come from
Asian.
Caucasian.
You know what? She's not. But you know what? Marnie's the person who goes. But actually, our whole marriage, our whole NSYNC thing is about you guys. Really, you guys are so in sync. And Christopher and I are so in sync. But like, you've been married for like 30 years, and we've been married
Wait,
for
the
10.
age she's in.
Wait, but we've been married for almost 10 years, and we're way to age us. But like, Marnie might be on a trip. Dave got us. We're going out.
Yeah.
Dave might be on a trip. Marnie got us. We're going
Yeah.
out.
Yes.
And
Both
that's
tripping, we're going out.
Yeah, exactly. If we both tripping, we going out.
Yes.
So I love you guys. I love you guys so much. And I hope you guys so much like tomorrow as you take your daughter and learn about her culture. They're literally
Wait,
taking their daughter.
China or Japan?
Japan.
They're taking their person of color to Japan to learn her culture. Why white people do that? Why white people do that? So we really want to.
Is it even Chinese?
We really want to
She
like
is
to,
Chinese.
Chinese.
Right, Japan.
Guess what?
But she's
My
all
adoptive
about
white
Japan.
mom gave me drums and said, "Welcome to being black." Like.
So you're taking.
You're doing way more.
Wait, no.
You're doing way more,
You're
okay?
taking it into a.
Let's just
I was in Africa in my room in Michigan.
Really? So cute though.
So we really wanted to dedicate marriage material because we always talk about us guys, but we really for our guys to love. Oh, well, that was the fucking material, bitch. That was the material. You were the marriage material. All right, next slide.
Beautiful. Oh, that's the
You know what it is?
material's over.
It's the word of the week. The word of the week.
Opportunity does not knock. It presents itself when you beat down the fucking door. I don't fucking know something, but that's what
Which is how we got here.
microphone. That was nasty.
Listen, we had this podcast dream back in September.
Yes.
And we recorded a couple episodes. We had a horrible mic.
We had a
We had a
horrible.
Yeah.
well, but then we got a boyfriend.
Yes.
And he brought us a good podcast
Listen,
set.
you listen to the city
Get
girls.
yourself a
They
boyfriend.
said, get yourself a boyfriend and pay for your shit.
Yes.
So we're like, maybe we need to do that.
And we
we
got
got a
one.
boyfriend. He paid for our new mic set. He
Yes.
paid for like 2 months for on iTunes.
Come on.
And then his baby mama came to the picture. I was like, oh, I think you gotta go.
Gotta
so,
go. But listen, the podcast set is forever. And now we're sitting here talking to all of you.
yeah, so
it's
opportunity
just a
does not
beautiful
knock.
experience.
And I also once again want to thank the Pocket Theater for allowing
Yeah.
us this opportunity. Let's give it up to them.
Because we're not everybody's cup of tea. This is
No,
all
like
that
we
shit.
are not PC at all.
We
Like,
are very censored tonight. And
tonight, y'all are getting a great white show. Listen to the podcast. That should be like, I be on myself. Like I listen to myself. I'm like, you're problematic. Like,
That's gonna raise it.
but you know what? Opportunity does not knock. You have to knock down that shit. So you have to do what you have to do. We've been
Make
advertising
connection happen.
for 3 months. We've been doing what we have to do. We've been going outside of our means, paying shit. Like honestly, I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I spent our last $500 on t-shirts. We paid our rent, $2,000. I paid my car insurance, and I bought t-shirts. That left me with $100 to celebrate my husband's birthday for the week.
So that being said,
But that means that buy the
Yeah.
fucking t-shirts
the Linktree on sale.
and the Caucasity.
Caucasity
Go buy these bitches.
on
But
sale.
to be
Please buy
completely
one.
honest, if you don't buy these shirts, we're still gonna survive because we're hustlers and that's what we do. And we bet on ourselves. So the fact that you're sitting here right now, I bet on myself. I didn't know you were gonna come tonight. I didn't know you were gonna come tonight. But I bet on myself and you're here now.
Come on.
You know what that was? That was the word of the week.
The word of the week. Yeah.
Do you want to go on to the niggatry?
Oh, yeah. There's powerful niggardry at work here.
And we
If
have,
you would like, you can sing along.
if you know,
I have some friends in the back that like to sing this song.
Come on, Kris.
I see you back there.
I'm 100% nigga. Nigga. I'm 200% nigga. Why you call yourself a nigga? Nigga.
All right. So, on YouTube,
That
we
ignorance
usually,
is brought to you by the
that
90s.
ignorance usually loses about like 100 people who are when we're doing this live on YouTube, we're like, oh, we got like 400 people. And Kris is like, nigga, they're like, and numbers are going down, the numbers are going down.
Say it with your friends at home, so why don't you say it with me on the stage?
So yes, like we told you when we introduced this podcast,
We're not PC.
We're not PC.
If you want to say it, my name
So
is
just like we talked about
But
y'all
whatever happens to you after that is up to you.
earlier tonight, we talked about the white folks. We finna talk about the niggas
Because
doing what?
some niggas shake us
The act of one behaving as an ain't shit ass nigga. Let's roll first light.
Alright.
Man arrested.
Alright, pause. He ain't a nigga. That's the closest we can find. Alright.
I couldn't find the nigga pretending to be a police officer. I tried. But he is Latino, so he's darker than the paperback. So
He's a
follows.
Negro.
It follows. Do you want to take the first one, man?
Yeah, sure. Kitsap County, where Where's that?
I don't know.
Across the water. Investigators arrested a man in a truck decked out to look like a police vehicle that had a device that covered license plate with a plastic cover that read police. When a deputy spotted the truck around 2 a.m. August 10th, he noticed it looked like a law enforcement vehicle, but not from any department he had seen before. Thank you so much. It's hot on this bitch.
I know, babes. I got you.
And he realized, okay, this is getting a little bit more suspicious. That's what white people love to say.
I know. Suspicious. That's their favorite word. You know what their favorite word? 2 favorite words.
Suspect,
Uncomfortable.
right, oh yeah.
And suspicious. Whenever they see nigga, I am uncomfortable and he looks suspicious.
Who was a Negro?
They be like, we're ready, ma'am. Like, go ahead.
Said Kitsap County Sheriff spokesman Deputy Scott Wilson, the suspicious meter was starting to go up.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did.
Okay. Wilson said when the deputy saw the small placard that read police in white letters on a black background had Southern replaced by the Washington State license plate, he stopped the truck. And it was 34-year-old Cody McMahon.
He was black?
Yeah.
His name was what?
Cody McMahon.
Oh, he was adopted.
He was. I read that last and I was like, shit.
He was
He was
adopted.
not an officer, but a convicted felon. So he's
He
a
got
felon
emotional
for-
problems.
Yeah.
So this nigga was, what did he do ultimately? He made his
He
truck-
likes to play airsoft games and we role play. I'm trying to think Cody may be white.
No, he was a nigga, because we researched
But
this.
niggas not role play.
It's not adopted.
Or airsoft.
I did that. I was adopted by white folks.
Okay. Make.
I know how to burn.
Wait.
I'm only back there, yes.
Who moves in a
I'm only
white
bitch.
folks?
I know how to burn the cow. Do you? Continue.
Because I never had that type of. I know how to smoke weed out of
Out of an apple. I know you taught me.
But come to find out, it's probably crack. But long stories. Meg Mayhem was arrested and charged for illegal drug possession and impersonating a law enforcement officer. We should also think he was white. But what Wilson said, it's not clear if anyone
He
has
was
ever
arrested?
been stopped by Meg
He might be
Mayhem.
white.
I believe he was a real cop. We don't know.
You sure he wasn't shot?
He was. I'm
Okay.
looking. He's definitely still alive.
He might be
So-
light skin passing.
Light skin passing. You've seen them. We don't know. So if somebody has, then please come forward and let local law enforcement agency know or let us know. Question.
All right, this
So
story
if-
is boring. So this light
If
skin
you got a
nigga.
ticket, could you just say that? I think that nigga that was a person and y'all gave me a
Yeah,
ticket.
that's what I would say.
Yeah, I would too.
All right, next story of the nigga tree.
There you go.
All right, chronic bus masturbator shuns the internet for newsprint. He was a nigga. We got a photo. I couldn't get his photo because for some reason Google won't let me print it. But he's a nigga. Look, definitely. It says, no matter how dismal the future might of print media may look, with this ascension of allowed power, it's comforting to know that newspapers will always have at least one loyal demographic. Bus masturbators. That was the longest fucking intro. Who allowed that?
People who
Who
masturbate
wrote
on
this?
buses.
Seattle Week. Who's ever in charge of publication of Seattle Weekly? You need to lessen down on your media pages because that's too much. The case of Michael Wilson proves that MacBooks can never replace the standard of broadsheets when it comes to perviness. You know, that was a fucking word. On public transit. In the most recent police filing, after Wilson, Seattle detective M.S. DeTusa identifies him as a suspect in 4 indecent acts of Metro buses on.
So was this SVU?
Yeah, this was Seattle Victims Unit. Boom boom.
Almost Tutuola.
Nigga.
But that last thing.
Nigga, if you Tutuola, we ain't got no Tutuola and Goku money over here, so you need to up your game. So long story short, this man, he was 36 years old. He was black. The police video say the bus video. Hey, you were in the bus and you got hit, and they didn't
So
have
you
video.
are definitely going to jail.
You're going to jail.
But yeah, but he's definitely going to jail because 1, they got him on camera.
Well, when he was
2, he did it in
arrested,
front of people, and then 3, he said, "I can't get it hard off the internet no more."
that's exactly what he said when he was arrested.
So he was looking at bitches like in prison, like the guards, and like, "Yo, I'm gonna beat my dick to you, which just sounds really hard.
Well, when he was arrested at 39, Michael Wilson said just that.
He did?
Yes, he said, I'm gonna beat my dick off to you. I'm quoting this from Seattle Weekly, guys. Like, I'm sorry. This is just news. And then when he was arrested at his home on Airport Way, ooh, that's in Everett.
Everett.
Everett, people back here, Airport, nothing's good on Airport Way but that sex shop, and they sell
poppers.
Poppers, yes, $20.
They also have syphilis, so be careful.
Wilson apparently has been a reader for some time. He's been doing this for a lot. For the last 2017, 2019, he's been arrested, and he's on current bail for $100,000 in King County.
A lead nut costs you all that.
A lead nut. Listen, do we have one more story for the nigga tree?
I think so.
Is that it? That was it? Okay. Was that it?
No, this nigga.
Oh, okay.
Give me this.
The show's almost wrapped up, guys. I know you've been enjoying it. We got about 10 more minutes.
Fugitive busted after accepting friend requests.
That's why I tell y'all niggas stop accepting friend requests for people you don't know. You think you're cute, you're not.
Seattle.
Your man bun is not that cute. I'm sorry, Manny. It's actually really cute. I'm sorry. It's really
So where did all that hatred
Go
come
ahead. It came from deep inside my gut. Go ahead.
Alright, Seattle. Maxi Sopo, a lie, was living the dream of a fugitive abroad, kicking back in the beaches of Cancun by day, partying in the clubs by night. Then he did two things that are never a good idea when you're on the run from authorities. He started posting Facebook updates about how much fun he was having.
So he knew he was an active fugitive.
Yeah, he was.
So wait. He knew he was an active fugitive on a run.
Yeah.
And he just went with this.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And added a former Justice Department official to his list.
This is the
friends.
nigga tree of niggadom.
That kind of references then the 26-year-old native of Cameroon.
A nigga.
Africa.
Yes.
Yo, listen, so wait, pause. So I had, you know, Wachofo.
Yes.
He actually is from Cameroon and lied about a whole job that he had there.
Yes, he did.
When he tried to move into the box store.
Yes, the box
Trying to
store.
say he was underqualified.
If you guys don't know what the box store is, go listen to our live podcast, or go listen to our regular podcast
I've been
on
saying
iTunes.
you can't trust niggas from Cameroon as far as I've learned. In the Mexico City jail, where he is awaiting extradition to the United States on bank fraud charges. Federal prosecutors say he and an associate falsely obtained more than
Falsely.
$200,000 from Senator Banks and credit
Are you
unions.
sure they're not related to Justice Molay?
Well, I'm not sure because they
Are these the same brothers? These are some scamming ass brothers.
no, because they got away with this.
Well, you know, I'm over this. I'm over this last segment of these niggas being niggas.
I'm just saying that as black folks, we have to realize that when our people fuck up, they need to be held accountable.
Yes.
And as white folks, when y'all people
Oh,
fuck
actually,
up,
and then hold on. Speaking about that, listen, I'm like 2 minutes overtime, but this is literally our last story, right? Or we got one more?
That was it.
That was the last story. I have one more thing that I wanted to add before I left the story, because I added last minute. How many people saw Dwayne Wade's son, Zion Wade, go to the Pride Parade in Miami? How many people saw that? We have a couple of people, right? I am so sick of African American people being so fucking
what is a pink light?
homophobic. Pink light means bitch, your show is done. But I'm getting there. I'm so sick of black folks being so homophobic. So this is why we created this podcast. Because not only do we correct the white folks, we correct the black folks. And I'm not trying to despair y'all because y'all are intermingled. But our podcast is to make everyone identify and everyone acknowledge what you're doing wrong.
Right.
And correct it and have a conversation. Like we said, we are not PC
At all.
We are married, we are black, and we are funny as fuck.
And this is a PG-13 show, so
Yes, so don't have your children listen to it. But
this
thank
one
you
the children can
so
listen
much
to.
for listening and joining Kris and Karlos.
I'm not nervous anymore with the show. Also, I
Lots of occasions. Will it be live?